Today I want to share the first of a three-part series. And this three-part series will be part one, good news, part two, bad news, and part three, very good news. You probably already guessed that I'm going to talk about, first of all, man created in the image of God. That's the good news. Man is not a zero. Man is not a machine, even though a sophisticated machine. Man is not a product of time and chance. I want to express my appreciation to Francis Schaeffer, who I met once, and then also Nancy Pearcey, who wrote a book entitled Total Truth. She studied under Dr. Francis Schaeffer for some of the ideas that I'll be sharing with you in this next 3 weeks. We talk about things that are valuable and things that have no value. If we have just a trinket of some sort, we throw it away if it's broke or damaged. But if it is a valuable piece of art or sculpture, then we may spend a lot of time, money, and skilled craftsmanship to restore this valuable piece of art or sculpture. Well, I believe that that is a good analogy for humans. We are created in the image of God. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness." And then in verse 27, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female. He created them. And then in verse 31, and God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. So the Lord's opinion of man is that this is the climax of his creation. Man is wonderful. Man is marvelous. Man is a masterpiece, not a trinket to be thrown away. I think this is one of the reasons that we find it so discouraging to see human trafficking today, so absolutely devastating to hear about suicide, so absolutely horrible to know of man's inhumanity to man. Now, God loves everyone. He has made us in his image, each and every one. So I hope that this will resonate with you, that there is the good news about a person's intrinsic worth, one's value to God and hopefully to other humans. This should especially be true of Christians. We ought to believe that everybody is valuable, everybody's important. Now, to make sure we understand that we're not just saying missionaries are important, or preachers are important, or Christians are important. And though that's true, everyone is of great value to God. Now, we want to think ahead a little bit. I'm going to say something about the next 2 weeks. That's the reason that sin is so tragic. Sin is a masterpiece being defaced. Sin is something extremely valuable losing part of its luster, if you will. And so let us think in terms of sin as being against a holy God, a God who loves us, who's created us, who's made us in his image, who says, you are extremely important to me. So that's the reason sin is so terrible. Then the third week, the very good news is what we call redemption, or God has made a way for us to come back to him and to have restoration. And that applies to all of creation. In Acts 17, when Paul was preaching what we call the Sermon on Mars Hill, he went there and he found they were very religious, had all kinds of idols, and one of the idols had an inscription to the unknown God. Paul used that as a launching pad to say, I want to tell you who this unknown God is. This is the God that the Jewish people were proclaiming. This is the God who has made the world and everything in it. And you can know him. And also, we find in the scriptures the bonus that not only has God made a way back for us as humans, but he also has a plan to restore everything else in creation that has been marred by man's rebellion. I hope you'll spend some time in first chapter of Genesis, first 2 chapters. Get in your mind, in your heart, the concept that a person is of infinite worth to the Lord. An individual, a human being, is his masterpiece. And you would thank him today for that, for yourself, for your family, for your friends. But indeed, can you do that for your enemies too? I hope so. God bless, and I look forward to seeing you in about a week.